right, Nick, let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has this team rolling. They looked really, really strong last year, but there is a new piece of information that came out today, some good news about Jacksonville, and kind of how this year they have a special weapon that's going to make them even better than they were last year.
Yeah, Miles, there's a lot of reports that have quietly come out from the Jacksonville camp that shows how everything is turning in a really good direction for the Jaguars football team. But while we look towards the future, let's take a step back and look at the past. And of course, the draft is only a few short days away at this point. And that leads me to my question for the Jaguars fans to answer in the comment section below. Give me your favorite Jaguars draft steal in team history. What's your favorite Jacksonville Jaguars draft steal? Obviously, this team's been around only since the mid-90s, but I think that's more than enough history to have a couple really nice steals. There's a couple that I currently am thinking of right now. But really curious what you guys have to say. So let us know favorite Jacksonville draft steal in the comment section below. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video to hear a word for the partner of today's video, and that's Neuro. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Jacksonville?
Yeah, Nick, we're not talking draft steal here, but, maybe free agent trade steal has to be the addition of Calvin Ridley to this team.
Absolutely.
Over the last year. People might kind of forgot about it because he had to sit out all last season due to, quite frankly, some ludicrous gambling rules. Now the NFL is all involved in gambling. It seems silly, but he is back now. He's in Jacksonville. He's training with the team in spring OTAs, and he is looking good, Nick. I'm going to pull up the report here briefly for a second and read it. This is on Wednesday. Ridley participated in his third official workout as a Jaguar, with Jacksonville kicking off their voluntary workout program this Monday. In those 3 short days, Ridley has already made an impression on, well, everyone. His quarterback, check. His fellow veterans, check. A local media to who he poured his inner self out to in his first ever introduction to them, check. So it sounds like Ridley is doing all the right things. He's impressing everybody. He seems like a consummate professional. Exactly opposite of kind of the picture that was painted of him earlier on in the season while everything was going along. And then it goes on to say a little bit that Ridley gave a comment saying, "Oh man, I've made my way around a little bit. My face is well known around Jacksonville. I've stopped at a couple car washes, hanging out with guys." He's just trying to make himself known in the community, being a face in the community. I think this is kind of a completely different guy than we saw when he was down in Atlanta. This is a guy that seems like he wants to be here. He feels comfortable. He feels at home. And he even goes on to talk about how much he loves his new quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. So I think this is a match made in heaven for Jacksonville. And it was really, really, convenient for them that all of this worked out in their favor. What do you think about the addition of Ridley? What do you think about the good news about him? And especially, how he's going to affect Trevor Lawrence next season?
Oh, I think he's a phenomenal player. I mean, he's kind of been forgotten about all the moves that have happened, whether they be via trades or free agency. Really was probably the best player, in my opinion, to change hands. Obviously, young, talented player, obviously very productive. Obviously Pro Bowl caliber guy that we all kind of forgot about. Obviously, he didn't play last season because of the gambling thing. This was probably, if it weren't for the gambling thing, this would have probably been the biggest move of the offseason, really going to Jacksonville. But it's kind of been forgot about and slept on a little bit. And the fact that he's already making a good impression is good news, but no surprise. But I want to harken back to one thing you said, Miles, what a difference a year makes. Because the Ridley report isn't all the good news going on in Jacksonville right now. There's a report out from Yahoo Sports about Trevor Lawrence. He's really loving this offseason so far. Doesn't have to worry about a new system. He's very comfortable in the Doug Peterson offense. He's spending his time training, working, getting better, getting healthy, getting stronger, working on his fundamentals, working on timing and rhythm. The only guys that he really has to worry about, according to the article, I think it's very interesting, is Calvin Ridley. It's his only main wide receiver target that is changing. And according to your report, Miles, it looks like Ridley is fitting in right away already, which is fantastic. There are also reports out of Jacksonville that the issues with Evan Ingram, who wants a long-term deal, seem to be trending in the right direction as well. And what a difference a year makes. I'm going to keep going back to that, because if you go back a year ago to the Urban Meyer debacle, coming off that, no one knew what Jacksonville as a franchise was going to look like. Trevor Lawrence, was he a bust? Who knew what he was going to be? Now you fast forward a year, and Trevor Lawrence is leading this team. He's comfortable in the offense. He's leading all these activities. Everyone's getting on the same page. You got a new guy in Ridley coming in who's already a superstar, but he's fitting in with the team, fitting in with the offense, fitting in with the quarterback, fitting in with the city. And the one contract dispute they have in Evan Ingram, it looks like it's going really well. So that's what I'm going to really focus on here. In just 1 year, bringing in Doug Peterson, changing this entire culture around, Trevor Lawrence taking that next step last season as well, has completely flipped this Jacksonville football team. And look, they haven't made as many big moves as some of the other football teams have made so far this offseason. But when you factor in the Ridley addition and all the solid continuity they built and the fact that they continue to grow and develop, this team is dangerous. And I think, honestly, even though they haven't been talked about a whole lot, Mice, this team may have had one of the best off seasons out of any team in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think this Ridley signing's huge. I think when Trevor Lawrence goes on to talk about he's looking to set a new standard in Jacksonville, move on from the early parts of his career, move on from the Urban Meyer era. They're in the new era. You talk about all this additions. This is a new team. This is a completely different team than he was playing on before. It's a completely different feel. So it's like you said, there's been so many moves, so many things have been forgotten. I don't even know what to expect from this team. They could come out and blow the doors off of everybody when they come into this next season just because of how big of a difference this team is where they are now from where they are last year. So I'm really excited to see the season start. I'm really excited to see these voluntary workouts progress, see if him and Trevor Lawrence can get some more continuity going. I think it's going to be a really strong start to the season for Jacksonville, and this deal looks like it's going to be probably the steal of the last decade.
All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.